is up, my creepy cronies? Welcome back to the channel. As always, am your creepy kooky commentator, the Crowlector. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at another Crowlection classic, which is the NECA cult classic of the Bubba Ho-Tep figure. And Bubba Ho-Tep is one of those movies that is really what the cult classic line was made for. Very few people I've ever talked to have actually seen the Bubba Ho-Tep movie, and even fewer actually enjoyed it. It's definitely an acquired taste of a movie. I mean, did you ever think we would get a movie about an ancient mummy that comes to a retirement home where Elvis and an African-American JFK live, and the mummy comes to try and steal their soul so he can come back to life? I mean, what a cool, just weird, fun concept. And that's a good way to describe the movie itself. Very fun, weird, low budget. It's got Bruce Campbell. I mean, what more do you really need? And what more do I have to say? That kind of tells you right there what kind of a movie it is. I've always been a fan of movies that have a really strange, out there concept and just devote themselves to it. And this certainly is one of those movies. This was never going to get a huge toy line, but NECA did give us two figures, both the titular mummy Bubba Ho-Tep himself and Bruce Campbell's Sebastian half, aka Elvis Presley. That one I do not have, but he does come with a base that hooks up with the Bubba Ho-Tep figure just to give sort of a cool little battle scene. This was back in the time when figures, especially collector's figures, came with bases. And man, I miss that time. Like I said in my Soda Toys Emotep review, it really just helps add a little something something to the figure itself. Helps you envelop yourself in the world even more and makes just a really nice, lovely display piece. So much thought went into these things back in the day to give you a nice snapshot of the film. But old Jerky Face here comes with a base near the retirement home in the movie. He comes out of a lake, starts sucking some souls, gets his really worn, tattered sort of biker slash cowboy look here. Very, very fun. Who'd have thunk we'd ever get a Wild West mummy? But the base is sculpted very, very nicely. You get a cool kind of shimmer effect on the water. It's not quite a sculpted separate piece like they've done on like the Curse of the Black Pearl figures with that treasure grotto. There's not a clear overlay, but it does get a nice shiny wash to it. The license plate is suitably dirty and muddy as well. You get some a separate piece with some soft goods, I guess soft goods, or a very soft plastic tall grass. The rest is painted very nicely with some of that kind of classic stomped down grass at the edge of lakes. You get a nice little rock. Very simple, but again, it tells a story. And the sculpting on old Bubba Ho-Tep here is very, very nice. Very reminiscent of our Soda Toys mummy. I mean, these guys look like, if they're not like the same guy, just in different phases, that they could at least be long lost brothers. This is definitely a buddy cop movie that I would pay to see. But you get all the same kind of gnarly details on Bubba here as you did on old Emotep, just in a much flashier, kookier, unique way. He's a little bit more composed than Emotep was in that. Not so much like a jerky look, but just very dry, leathery skin. You get a little bit of the bone showing through there with his nose, his eyes. Some really nice little work on the feathers here in the hat. And even the hat itself has kind of like a woven look, a woven effect on the little band here. Very, very cool. Some nice stringy hair as well. Because even if you are a couple thousand-year-old mummy, does not mean that your hair has to look bad. I love the kind of flame pattern on his southern tuxedo here. It reminds me a lot of my childhood. I grew up in Texas, and so I saw a lot of guys that looked like this. Not so much the mummy version, although there were a few of those as well. But with this sort of like retro-y, flashy thing, flames were always such a cool guy thing. I'm almost surprised he's not in more like black leather and everything, but he's more like cowboy or like American Indian cowboy. But you do get the cool, really nice tatter effects on the shirt as it's all ripped up. And again, just like on Emotep, the paint is very, very clean here. There's really no slop from what is clearly the shirt onto the skin and vice versa. So you know where each one starts, which one ends. And I always love seeing how they adapt like tattered clothes, seeing how where they decide to do the holes, where it's like barely clinging on to. You get some of that with the arms here. Some real exposed skin up top, more fabric on bottom. Same with the other side. But he did still have time to button his sleeves here. He's not a monster. I mean, he is a monster, but he's a well-dressed monster. You get the cool sculpting on the ribs, his little stomach showing through. Again, that Ozempic diet, it's sweeping the nation. You do get his little hips sticking out as well, which is a really fun touch. Of course, you gotta rock the belt buckle. What Texan outfit is complete without a big honkin' belt buckle? Tattered pants as well, those leathery legs, and of course, the boots. Again, it is a crucial piece to the repertoire. I famously wore nothing but a diaper and cowboy boots when I was younger. I'm talking like 1, 2 years old, not like 9, 10 years old, because that would be absurd. But these are some nice classic boots. Honestly, if I still wore cowboy boots like I did back in the 90s, I would probably rock these as well. I like the snake skin look, the kind of sewn pattern there, the leathery look. All very, very nice. And comes together to make a very unique, one-of-a-kind, singular mummy. Now, just like old Emotep, being a figure from the early 2000s, articulation was not these guys' strong suit. They were definitely made more as display pieces than anything else, but he does still have a few little pieces. He can turn his head side to side, no real up and down, but he could that kind of thing. Does have a ball joint at each shoulder and a little swivel at each elbow and another little swivel at the wrist, so you can kind of have him any which way you want, kind of reaching out, or sort of like an Emotep kind of come at me bro kind of thing. From the waist down, he is, well, a statue. No waist articulation, no thigh, no nothing, but he does turn at the boots. Again, this is just more so for stabilization. And just the way that he is sculpted to always be walking kind of on tiptoe here, he does require the use of the base. I'm sure you could probably get him to stand on his own, but why not? It comes with the base. And again, like old Emotep, you always know how to place these guys on the base. So little tippy thing, little tippy toes goes on back, that one on front as he's emerging from his 1,000-year-old bath. Coming to suck your soul. It really is kind of an ingenious plan. I mean, when you're hungry for souls, and you don't want to put up much of a fight, if you can't fight much yourself, what better place to go than an old folks' home? We do love a good, smart mummy as well. But really, this is just such a fun, kooky, unique figure that really, again, belongs in that cult classic line with that cult classic moniker. Bubba Ho-Tep is like the textbook definition of a cult classic. So the fact that we got figures like this at all, this and the Bruce Campbell Elvis figure is so cool, so fun. Unfortunately, with how expensive everything is today, I don't think we would ever get anything like this. Even some smaller horror movies that did relatively well at the box office, we have no figure representation for. But if possible, I would love to see a return of like the cult classics line. Obviously, everyone has their different definitions of what a cult classic is, but at least a small little production run of figures, horror figures or otherwise, that would not get their own dedicated toy line. Something like this, maybe some other recent horror films like Heart Eyes, that was really fun. Heck, even the Mystery Men figure that I reviewed a couple videos ago, that would be so fun to see revisited, even if it's a smaller run, maybe a con exclusive or a made to order kind of figure. We just really need to give some love to the little guys. And I'm so happy that I was able to pick this guy up and add him to the collection. It really reminds me of simpler, nostalgic times in the toy collecting community. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of old Bubba Ho-Tep here. Have you seen the movie? If so, what did you think about it? Definitely interested to hear some more opinions. Also, if you could revive the Cult Classics line, what figures would you want to see in it? Whether it's horror, action, comedy, whatever. I feel like we're sort of getting that nowadays with McFarlane's return to the Movie Maniacs line, but even still, those are still like big name properties. So, what smaller properties, maybe even guilty pleasures of yours, would you like to see? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I really do appreciate it. I will be back soon with more Creepy Crow-lection content. But in the meantime, don't forget, stay spooky.